everybody, and welcome to Stumptcast.
Hey!
I'm Rick, and joined as always by Bryce, Jasmine, and Ash. Say
Hello.
Hello.
We're all just so anxious to say hello.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Can't help it.
Let's say it one more time.
Hello.
There you go. Let's get it out of our
Wow.
system. Hello, everybody. Yes, welcome to another thrilling installment of Stumptcast. As always, we've got some Marvel Minute. We've got some Stump's Adventure Corner. And you know what? I think we're just going to play it fast and loose today. You know what? It's grab bag.
All right.
No topic is off limits today.
Oh my.
Uh-oh.
All right.
You say that.
Yeah, I say that now.
You say that now.
I will tell
You're
you.
gonna regret that later.
That's true. That's true. You guys we're gonna be crying and exposing our deepest, darkest secrets.
You never
loved me.
It's the end of Stump, guys.
It's the end of Stumped, as you know it. But it's But let's start off as we always do with how was your week? Who wants to take it?
Well, I can go ahead and say that my week has been
Okay.
because my computer got like a major fucking virus
Yeah.
that I've been dealing with for a while. And today, right now, as we speak, Ash has been reformatting my computer entirely, reinstalling everything. We're going back to square one, but son of a bitch.
Can I just say this is the third time Bryce has had to bring over his computer for something
Yeah.
related to this kind of issue? So
I don't
What
know.
are you doing?
That's the thing. Like, I don't do shit with my computer other
you're
than
gonna have to like lock
play
his
games.
computer down so he
Look-
can't even download
No,
things.
I don't know how it's getting it because it's not like I go and download shit or do anything weird on my computer because all I do, it's like it goes on and I'm playing a game and I'm recording it. And then it'll be rendering for like 4 hours. And then it'll be uploading for like 18 hours. There's like nothing to do on my computer and yet somehow
You've got
this shit has happened.
You've got a poltergeist, man.
I
You
do
do.
have a
You've got a
poltergeist.
tech-savvy poltergeist.
Maybe you
do.
have like a homeless person in your house.
Oh.
You know, he just shows up
My
and starts
apartment
downloading
is
porn or something.
so small. And I did just go through this week and I cleaned the shit out of my apartment. And it's one of those things where like you never really realize how dirty, just like dust and stuff like that can be until you like get behind your bed that
Yeah.
you haven't like gotten
yeah.
behind forever because it's up against the wall or like
You were fortunate you don't have animals.
Yeah.
Me,
that's
us, Rick,
gross.
we all have animals.
Hair everywhere.
Hair.
Yeah.
Constantly.
Yeah.
Constantly.
I
I have
have
a
never
little
been so
pig.
thankful to
It's gonna
have
have a little
carpet in all my life. There's a lot of hardwood in this town, and like it's apparent immediately that you have animals if you have hardwood.
But
Oh,
you
yeah.
have to get like
Carpet
a carpet cleaner
hides
then.
that shit. Well,
Well, if you have dogs
vacuum.
especially, then like their nails will like claw all over
Yeah.
the cardboard.
Oh
as
yeah,
well.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and it's loud as hell.
Yeah.
Shoot.
Yeah, it's
Carpet
so
for
funny when
life.
the cats go crazy, our cats. Whenever they like get really energetic and stuff like that, it's like fucking Scooby-Doo watching them try to get traction, and you actually hear it goes, and then they're
Yeah.
off.
It's true.
They love
So
it. Cats love it.
So with the issues that I've been dealing with, I've been mostly doing stuff off the computer. And so like I said, I cleaned the shit out of my apartment. I've been working on my dissertation, which is something I haven't spent a lot of time doing over the past year,
Fancy pants.
which is something I should get done at some point before they kick me out of school. And then I finally played Ratchet and Clank Into the Nexus, which I'm a huge fan of Ratchet and Clank, and I've owned this game for over a year, and I forgot about it. It's just been sitting. I never touched it from like a Christmas ago.
I find it hilarious that like you're not able to play games on your computer, so you find the only other mode that you can to play games.
I think that this should speak to how much I love games, all right? And so I played it and beat it because it's just kind of a short game, but it gave me something to do while I was like having to like quarantine my computer over in the corner and not do anything with it.
Yeah.
So that was nice, and that's pretty much
But
been what I've been
I'll
doing.
say you're a trooper. You managed to still record stuff on that
Dude,
super infested
fucking-
computer.
If you go watch my episode of Rogue Gallery where I play Vagant, while you're watching it, it looks and sounds fine. What I'm hearing is every 5 seconds is a little like Windows bung kind of noise. And so it's just like bung 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 constantly in my ears while I'm trying to play through this. Like, oh, and then I got a sword now. Okay, I could do this thing. Ugh, fuck it. It was the worst.
Sounds
It
terrible.
was the worst. Ugh.
It's trying to tell
Never
you in
again.
Morse code to kill it.
It's like kill me. Yeah. So that's been me.
Nice.
Oh my god.
Nice.
Jazz?
This week has been very slow for me. Besides recording Don't Starve, I haven't really done too much of note. I mean, I've been
You
working
drew
a
a
lot.
new.
I drew the banner.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I was
gorgeous.
trying to think of when I actually drew it because I don't know if it was this week or the week before.
It was since the last podcast.
Since the last podcast.
Yeah. So I drew the banner.
Yeah.
It's great. Yep.
Awesome
it took
new
a
Gang
long
Beast banner.
time. I've actually had that design for like a month.
Yeah, I remember
And
you
every
showing.
single time I've been playing or I've been trying to draw it, I'm just like not satisfied. And so finally I actually got a format, or not a format, but just like a design I actually liked. So.
And you knocked it out of the freaking
It's
park.
great.
That's
There
right.
it is. We did it.
Woohoo!
We did it. Yay.
Right.
And
We.
then
You did it.
Yeah.
yeah, other than that, we've been playing a lot
We
of
were
Don't
the
Starve.
muse.
Don't starve. Yeah.
I've been having to be quiet some nights because Rick and Ash are recording.
Mm-hmm.
Forest. There might be one episode where you could probably hear me laughing. I don't know. So yeah,
Right on.
Ash says definitely. Ash
Yeah.
says definitely. You'll
I
hear
tried really hard to be quiet, but that shit was too crazy.
You're just too funny.
it. Game's bonkers.
So
So-
you'll probably see it next week or something whenever this comes out.
I was going to talk about the forest and how my week's been.
That's
Because the forest has been shit. Is how it's been. Rick and I have been freaking busting our asses trying to actually get that thing to work.
Oh God,
When
it is beyond buggy.
It is beyond buggy. When we first originally tried to record it, we had to use Hamachi to even connect to each other, which I was.
antiquated. I haven't done that shit for 15
I know,
years.
and like I feel I'm a pretty tech savvy dude. I know how to make servers. I know how to port forward my stuff. It was just not working.
No.
Um, And now, since the new update, I can't even host the server. The game crashes instantly.
Yeah, which is bizarre.
Um,
We can't figure out why, but the game just, as soon as I get on the server, it kicks Ash.
So all of our progress since our first
Progress.
block of footage, we had to recreate. So literally yesterday, Rick and I spent almost 5 hours together recreating what we did in the forest, recording like almost 2 hours worth of it,
Yeah.
and the amount of bugs that we still ran
You'll
into.
see. We don't want to give anything away.
No.
I mean,
I think
it's
it'll make for some very
glorious.
entertaining.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And
But-
during those scenes, that's when Jasmine's laughing.
Yeah. Well,
Quite
I mean,
a lot.
I left at like 5 yesterday because I went to have dinner with my brother. I came back at 7:30. I was gone for like 2 hours, 2.5 hours, and you guys were still like downstairs, like messing around. I was like, "What the fuck are you doing?" You guys didn't stop until like at least 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was an all-night thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, which is why we kind of, have a free flow podcast today.
Because we had no time.
Yeah, the time that we would have invested into giving you guys a great topic and a great Stump's Adventure Corner, we put that into giving you guys a great forest.
Exactly.
But
Greatest
it's gonna be
forest.
worth it. It's gonna be worth it with all the bugs and everything. Yeah.
For
I mean,
sure.
but that we were talking about it earlier today. Like they could have fixed so many things, but no, they added a broken multiplayer,
Mhm.
and then all these new broken aspects of the game. Where
Yeah.
it's just, yeah. Hopefully that game will be terrific one day when it's all said and done. But right now it is broke.
It is very broken.
Broke as a joke.
Yes.
Beyond that, some exciting stuff just to sort of tease out there. With Stumpt, we got some really awesome camera equipment.
Yep.
Mhm.
We got some really awesome lighting equipment, really awesome tripods and sliders, and
You went crazy, Ash.
we got some really cool stuff. So, just that said, that's in the works.
Very
There-
cool.
we have
Very
cameras.
cool.
What you guys put two and two together?
Yeah,
Who knows
We're not
what's gonna
saying
happen with
anything
those
beyond
things,
that.
But who knows? Who knows? Maybe some stuff will happen. Who knows?
maybe.
Exciting.
Rick's, how's your week been?
Pretty good. Just celebrated a anniversary with my
Woo!
wife.
With your
My wife. We took a trip to Astoria, Oregon, home of the Goonies.
Yeah,
Yep.
Yes.
still looks like it's home of the Goonies.
It's super quaint. Yeah, I sent you guys a picture. I'll post it online, but they still have an old JCPenney. Not like a JCPenney that you would see attached to a mall, but like a standalone on Main Street JCPenney. It's crazy. Everything in this town is like privately owned. There's no chain anything. I stopped by this awesome game store, which was right across the street from our hotel, because we were like, let's go pick up a game to play tonight. It was called Purple Cow, and just like the sweetest lady owned the place. She's like, we've been here since 1995, and yeah, it's like the privately owned bookshops. Went record shopping in this place that was like he was either the nicest person in the world or possibly a serial killer. was also
You
the
know,
nicest
Oregon
person in
is
the world.
known to have quite a lot of serial killers.
Yeah,
So
it-
it wouldn't be,
It was pretty creepy, but I did pick up a Genesis album. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Other than that, yeah, just been trying to play the forest and
Trying.
try as we might, you know. Here's the thing, though. I'm no longer afraid of cannibals.
No, yeah, I have no fear for them.
No fear. They're ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cannibals can't
Oh,
hurt
man.
me.
Not
Okay.
even real life cannibals. Like
No.
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 This is like
they
this,
come biting. And
this
you're just
game. If
okay with it?
anything, it's
It's making you stronger.
it's a game to like diminish phobias of
Mm.
So
cannibals.
it's like it just like runs the scenario of like, okay, cannibal attack.
Yeah. What's the worst that could happen? Your plane crashes on this island full of cannibals. What's the worst that could happen? Worst case, you die. Best case, you
You glitch through the world. There you go.
yeah, they can't hurt you. They literally
Cannot
can't hurt you.
But now you're afraid of raccoons. So
Yeah,
it's a
those
different kind of
they're wily. Those raccoons. Also, dead sharks littering the beach everywhere. Dead sharks.
That
And I
water
brought up to
is
Ash.
toxic.
Yeah, I was like, okay, so you would think that there would be sharks in the water, right? There's probably live sharks somewhere. Nope, haven't seen a goddamn live shark.
They all
anywhere.
died.
No.
They're
They
just
all died.
dead, strewn about the
And
beach.
Rick got his experience of swimming through that water too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm a pro swimmer,
You
and you'll
are.
see why.
Mad skills.
So pro.
What's the deal?
Rick's a pro swimmer. Find out why. Click here. Anyway, that's it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, do you want to get started with our next portion of the podcast?
Let's do it.
Hey everybody, it's the Marvel Minute!
All right, so for this week's Marvel Minute, quite a bit has happened. Obviously, I talked about this stuff briefly right before on the last podcast, but this was before it happened. We got a new trailer for Avengers, and we got the first trailer for Ant-Man, both of which are awesome, both of which I've watched like 1,000 million times. And so I'll just quickly go over some random bits from each one. So first of all, with the Ant-Man trailer, we didn't get too much stuff other than like we kind of got a little bit of an introduction to the characters, Scott Lang and Hank Pym, and we saw a couple of shots of Darren Cross and of Hope Van Dyne. And so we got to see a lot of that kind of stuff in action, but it's still kind of just that first teasery stage where they're just trying to like kind of set the tone. But looks really cool, and the little bit of CG that they showed of Ant-Man transforming down into the small version of himself in the bathtub, which is a pretty cool scene. I could totally in my head see what Edgar Wright would have done with it, which would have just been like a little more over the top and silly.
Sure.
But like the way that they do it still looks great. And then we also got to see a couple of quick shots of Ant-Man actually riding on the back of an ant that's flying in this awesome kind of like looks like a crazy like computer panel kind of section. Really, really cool looking stuff. So that one, it looks great. And you can tell that they're going to be using Paul Rudd as like very comedic in his
Sure.
kind of delivery. Like he's there to release the tension when a lot of other characters are being super serious, which is great. It's kind of like the Tony Stark thing in Iron Man, where it's like the thing that makes those movies fantastic is that they can ramp up the tension, but then, you know, Robert Downey Jr. can say something a little funny. It releases that tension and it helps like kind of like drive the thing forward. I feel like Paul Rudd's going to be doing the same thing because we get that line of his where he's all like, so can we change the name?
Right.
You know, it's like I think like those kinds of things are going to be great.
Yeah, he's
But-
kind of self-aware of the absurdity of the whole thing.
Exactly, exactly. And so I think that like actually now that I'm seeing a little bit more of it, this idea of Scott Lang as the place where we start with Ant-Man rather than it being the Hank Pym storyline, you know, another scientist who creates a thing. It's like basically the premise for this is going to be something to the effect of Scott Lang is, you know, he's like an engineer by trade, but he's also a thief. Like he steals shit. And he's trying to steal stuff to try and save his daughter is what it's like in the comic books. And he's going to get caught and go to prison or something like that. But Hank Pym offers him a chance out because he realizes here's a guy who can do my thing and could probably do it really, really well. Like he's got some skill set that fits with it. And
With
so he's kind of
being
like
an
this reformed criminal, but he's a criminal that's like you can get it because he's doing it to save his daughter. So it's like it's not bad.
Heart of
But,
gold. Heart of gold.
Yeah, criminal with a heart of gold. So looks great. Not a whole lot else there, like content-wise, though, because like I said, it's very cursory. So the Avengers trailer, we got to see a whole bunch of new, different CG that we haven't seen before. Specifically, they showed a whole lot more of that Hulkbuster fight.
Yeah.
Iron Man fighting the Hulk. Looks fantastic. And I'm swearing to you right now, I bet you that like that was like the first scene when they finished production or finished filming. They probably were like, all right, the thing we got to get CG'd up and looking pretty is this Hulkbuster fight because we want to show the hell out of it. And so we get to see an awesome scene where, you know, Iron Man takes off and grabs Hulk by the head and slams him into the ground. It's fantastic. But then, like, there were some other shots where we see Iron Man fighting some other guys and everything like that, where it looked to me like the CG wasn't finished, which is pretty common to happen at this point, where, like, they want to show you some more stuff, but that CG takes forever. And so remember this, everybody, whenever you see trailers for any movies, like when it's, like, 6 months out like this, a lot of the CG is not finished. Like, if you go look at, like, the Dawn of the Planet of the Apes trailer that came out first, which was like a year before the movie came out or something like that, and then you look at the next one that they made, you can see like shocking differences between the CG.
Sure.
But the things that we saw in this trailer that were kind of unique and interesting and oh my God, you know, we got a nice, slightly longer shot of Andy Serkis holding a gun and everything, so it looked like a little more like there's going to be an intense scene here with Andy Serkis's character. But the big one is right around 30 seconds in on the trailer. That's right, I'm giving you timestamps. There is a shot very quickly of a woman from behind, like walking into a pool, and she kind of like drops her robe. And the thing is like, it's one of those shots where it's like you can't tell who she is, but at the same time, there's a lot around that makes you think about it. And if you go back and watch the first trailer, in the first trailer, we see a shot of Thor bursting out of the water, and he's shirtless, and he's like enraged. Okay, that woman, when she's walking, away from it, looks like she's walking to the same pool that Thor bursts out of. And for the longest time, big potential spoilers here, people have been saying that it's likely that Thor dies.
So it's a Valkyrie?
No, that she's Death. People think that that's Death. That's Lady Death, and that what we're seeing there is the underworld in Thor's universe. In that because the next Thor movie is Ragnarok, which Ragnarok is brought about by the death of Baldur's son in traditional Norse mythology. You could easily say that instead of it being the death of Baldur's son, it's the death of Odin's son, which is Thor. And so it could be that Thor 3 is directly tied to the death of Thor in Avengers 2, because he has to battle his ass out of the underworld in order to stop Ragnarok from occurring, which is the end of days in Norse mythology. Anyway, the other part about that kind of helps bring that along is that we know, because Idris Elba slipped up and said that he and Tom Hiddleston will be in Avengers 2. So we know that Loki and Heimdall are going to be in it. So the fact that they're filming some Thor-centric scenes helps to say that there is going to be some major connection there. So that's the big thing out of that trailer, was that one shot of that lady. And then everything else is just badass shots of fucking, jets flying around and Captain America punching dudes in the face and Ultron bots flying everywhere. And Ultron shoots a laser beam and says, "I'm going to tear you apart from the inside." And it's amazing. And it, again, has crazy Pinocchio music in the background. Yeah. So it's just like the coolest shit ever. I'm so fucking excited for these movies. Everybody who's listening to this, if you haven't watched them already, go watch those trailers.
Price is all about it.
Yeah, a little bit. A little bit. I rewatched them this morning just because. And then,
no reason needed.
No reason. The last little rumor thing that popped up recently that is pretty exciting if it actually comes to fruition. Who knows if it will? Some people are saying that Spider-Man's back on the table.
Oh,
that
for
he
Marvel?
could show up, in the Avengers Infinity War.
Okay.
There's been a lot of talk about like a lot of the older Avengers not making it. If Thor does die in Avengers 2, just because he comes back through that story doesn't mean that he's necessarily back. Captain America and Iron Man, maybe they're falling out in Civil War, might be a huge rift and whatnot. So they're thinking that if Spider-Man, any time that could be good to bring Spider-Man in, if it's not Civil War, could be Avengers 3, where it's like, here's this, new actor playing a new Spider-Man in this universe, and he's a big part of the Avengers because those other Avengers are now gone.
Because from the leaked Sony emails, it sounded like they just like for sure couldn't get Spider-Man for Civil War. So are you saying that might be back on the table?
Not for Civil War. But he's back on the table for future. So like maybe for Avengers Infinity War. So it's a couple years down the line.
Gotcha.
If that's the case, that could be pretty damn awesome.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But maybe we're getting Spider-Man. And then all we need is the X-Men, the Fantastic Four.
So what would it? So would that be Sony selling the rights to Spider-Man back to Marvel?
No, it's like a character sharing deal, which is really interesting. Which is what they talked about in those Sony emails that got hacked, where it was sort of like they agree on a certain amount of revenue that gets fed back to Sony. Essentially, Marvel is like renting Spider-Man back from them. But then the other part of the agreement is that they agree to co-finance some I think Sony released, but Marvel's, produced films that are just Spider-Man movies. And so it's like Sony kind of gives Marvel Spider-Man, and then Marvel gets to take the lion's share in the Avengers movies.
But they get a cut.
And then Sony gets a cut. But then they also have to make some Spider-Man movies, and Sony gets the big cut there.
Right.
And so I think the figuring it out is Marvel has to find a place in their calendar to be like, where do we want to help them make a Spider-Man movie that's not going to really do too much for us?
Right.
And how can we fit that in with our huge schedule? And so I think that's probably what they're working on right now, if it is still on the table.
And do you imagine that those Spider-Man movies that they would make would still have, what's his name, Garfield?
No, they're getting
No.
rid of Garfield.
Yeah.
If he comes over to the Marvel stuff, they've pretty much said, no, we want none of the baggage.
Well, sure.
We want
So,
everything
like, the
gone.
one, I don't imagine it would be him in the Avengers one, but the
Mhm.
ones that are made by Sony that Marvel would help produce.
They would be starring the same Marvel actor, and they would
Okay.
be under like Kevin Feige and all those other producers
Okay.
saying, "Here is exactly what you're going to do." Like,
And it
Marvel's
sounds like
taking
from
creative
what
control.
It sounds like from what Price is saying that Marvel would actually be directing and Sony would only get like a production credit. So
yeah,
like,
Sony would be reaping the benefits. Like they would be able to benefit from all of the hype that comes along with Avengers stuff. From they probably have some certain level of creative control and maybe picking a director or something like that.
Mhm.
But overhead, Kevin Feige, king of Marvel at the moment, would be like running everything.
Awesome.
He would be like where the buck stops.
I'd be stoked
that would
for
be
that.
the only way I would watch a rebooted Spider-Man at this
And
point.
I think
They've
that
rebooted
that's-
it so many times and it's always
And
been a
that's the
disappointment.
only way that Marvel would do something like that is they would say like, okay, but you got to listen to us
Yeah.
because we've got the right ideas. Our movies keep getting better, whereas your movies not so
Yeah,
much.
right.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe we're gonna get Spider-Man.
Right on.
Fingers
Yeah.
crossed.
I'm
Super
all about
excited.
it.
All right, that's
Thank
it for
you,
the Marvel
Bryce.
Minute.
All right, so like I said, this is a pretty free-willing episode this week. Nothing's really off limits. This is an open topic forum. I don't know what you guys have to talk about, but I'm sure that we could probably find some topics and take it from there. Who wants to start?
I want to talk about breakfast food.
Breakfast food! Beautiful.
We can talk about games in a second, but sure.
No. This
No.
doesn't have to be all about games.
Breakfast
No.
cast.
This
Let's get
isn't
serious.
Taco Watch.
Let's
Oh,
get
boy.
serious.
This isn't Taco Watch. This
Yeah.
is something that's
This is not Breakfast Taco Watch 2014, which is now 2015.
Yep.
No. We're talking serious breakfast business here.
Mm.
There's been a line drawn in the sand
that
recently.
you drew yourself.
Yeah.
No, that you started because we were having a lovely meal, and I was talking about what to make for breakfast, and I mentioned pancakes, and you said you don't like pancakes.
No, we weren't talking about that. We were sitting at Theo's having lunch, and I saw on this t-shirt saying Waffle Witch. And I was like, what the fuck's a Waffle Witch? And we were talking about maybe it's like, Flavor Spot, where it's just a waffle that has like,
Some stuff
Yeah,
in it.
waffle
side in
sandwich.
it.
Yeah.
Sure.
And I was thinking waffles are really great.
Mhm.
Ash fucking goes crazy with his pancake
No,
thing.
well,
Man goes dead silent.
I
he goes
said-
dead silent, and he's just furiously texting.
No.
Next thing you know, my phone blows up, and he's like, Jasmine's a monster. She hates pancakes.
Because you
Waffles
literally
forever.
did say word for word, I don't like pancakes.
I
okay,
don't like pancakes.
that
There, she said it.
She said it.
She's a monster.
We've got it recorded. Anyway, it's now time to draw a line in the sand and say which team you're on. Are you on Team Pancake? Or are you on Team Waffle? And that's not to say that I don't like waffles. I'm
I love
okay with
waffles.
them.
Yeah, they're great.
But pancakes are clearly superior.
You are
the way
out of
you
your
make 'em.
mind. All right, Ash, clearly out of your mind. And I'm sure that there's going to be an overwhelming number of people
Yeah.
who jump on Team Waffle, okay?
No.
Waffles are clearly superior.
They're so
First
much
off,
better.
Waffle Witches, which Jasmine mentioned earlier. Try making a sandwich with pancakes. They're all floppy. I'm getting stuff all over the place.
Yeah.
Waffles, they're nice and firm. They make two beautiful pieces of bread for your Waffle Witch.
They're
That's
crunchy on
delicious.
the outside, and they're fluffy in the middle.
Oh,
And then they are full of flavor pockets.
flavor pockets, exactly. What do waffles have over stupid pancakes? Syrup traps.
Yep.
Syrup traps. It
And
traps
butter
the syrup in there.
traps.
So you're
And
saying,
butter traps.
it's a vehicle for toppings to go in.
so
your
like-
food.
It's not the
Why don't
wow.
you just chomp on some fucking butter?
Nope.
Why don't you just down a gallon of jam or syrup? All right. Here's the deal. Pancakes are better.
You're wrong.
Pancakes are much more
I
delicious.
think pancakes are a fine thing, but they get all mushy. Let a
No.
pancake sit with the
You're
syrup.
doing
they get-
pancakes wrong, my
No,
friend.
No,
No.
I find that every single time I've had a pancake, it is dry, and you have to douse it in so much fucking syrup or butter that you actually make it, palatable.
No. Okay, listen.
And then you and your crazy corn pancakes, Ash. I
Cornmeal
have never had
pancakes.
until I started dating you.
Which I think are actually called Johnny cakes in some parts of the world, but cornmeal pancakes are by far my favorite. But really, any kind of pancake,
They're great.
pancakes are great as well because they're basically a sponge for whatever's around them.
Yep.
So you don't need a
Yep.
flavor pocket to contain it. It's got its own vehicle for delivery.
Yeah,
particularly
and
in
it uses
flavors.
capillary action to spread that shit throughout the whole pancake.
Let me ask you
Exactly.
this:
Oh, here's a little pocket of
Have
butter.
you ever
Here's a little pocket of
had chicken and pancakes?
No, but
I've had chicken and waffles, and it's delicious.
I'll say I've had chicken and waffles. It's delicious too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But I would have rather had some corn pancakes.
With the chicken?
sure. Why would
You're
you
just
not
asking
want
for
corn
cornbread
pancakes?
then.
Yeah.
That's
no,
just cornbread.
I'm not.
That's
I'm
just
asking
cornbread.
for corn pancakes with maple syrup and chicken. That sounds
I mean,
delicious to me.
You got to ask me for like my favorite breakfast. It's like I've got a giant like bunch of pancakes, syrup and butter, and some fucking sausage, and you just you go straight through. You go pancake, sausage on top. You just go straight through and you eat all that in one bite. It's
For
the
sure.
most delicious
For sure.
thing
See,
in the world.
I am more of a savory person. If I do eat sweet for breakfast, it is definitely not a fucking pancake. I'm gonna say it's probably French toast, waffles, and then pancakes would be at the very bottom.
See,
No,
Jasmine's just
no.
crazy. She's
Pancakes have their
crazy.
own flavor, and waffles. Not that
Have
they
their
not
good
that they
flavor.
can't.
They
If
have
you-
a better flavor.
If you get like maybe a Belgian waffle, that falls more on like the sweeter side, kind of like a pancake. But a pancake still, it's like it's got that pancake
you can eat
natural
waffles
sweetness
with
to
anything.
it.
You know waffle cones.
No, same with
Yeah.
pancakes. You can eat pancakes with anything,
That
but
is
they're
not
better.
true. That is not true. Oh, I just discussed. Make a pancake sandwich.
You could totally wrap something in a pancake.
That's
It's-
not a sandwich. That's a wrap. That's
Oh,
a
I'm sorry.
burrito.
Okay, so so hold on. If I fold it in half, it's a burrito.
It's a taco if you fold
All
it in half.
What if I take one pancake and it's a little mini pancake and I put a piece of sausage on top of it and I put another pancake on top of it? What's that?
That would be a mini sandwich.
Yes, that would be a pancake witch. All right.
No. That's cheating, though.
How is that
That's
cheating? I do that shit all the time. I put my sausage in
No,
between my
I
pancakes
put my
and I go
bacon in
right
between the
through.
pancakes. Yeah.
And
That's
then you pick
per
it up and
bite,
eat it?
though.
No, because that.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
Because
This
it's
is
fucking
easier to eat.
breakfast. If I were to wrap it in a piece of foil or whatever like that, like I would do at Flavor Spot with the waffle sandwiches, then I would eat it in the same fashion. But that's not how.
But a waffle
I
has
do.
stability. A waffle is stable. You
Look,
can.
I'm not trying to judge which breakfast food is better
No,
based
you
on your
are.
ability to make a sandwich out of it.
Yeah,
I'm-
it's
I'm
what
saying-
tastes better.
I'm saying the waffle's versatile and it's delicious.
It's much better. Anyways,
is also
plus Ash,
versatile.
you're the one that started this whole war.
No, I'm not. I'm not saying that. I am trying to argue this, but I'm not trying to base it off of which one's better to make a sandwich out of.
Just which one's better, period.
Exactly.
No, I'm just saying that's just another level of superiority that waffle holds over pancake.
No.
And I will mention again, I like pancakes. Pancakes are great. But here's the thing. Pancakes, diminishing returns. How many pancakes do you eat before you're like, oh God, I can't eat another pancake? I will eat 1,000,000 waffles. I challenge you. I will
That's
eat waffles
because they're
until
hollow.
you're hollow. You sure are hollow.
That's because they don't have anything good in them.
dead
You gotta
inside.
add what you
Yeah.
want that's good on them.
Nope.
Yeah, you could do the
Pan-
same thing with a pancake.
Pancake, you can stuff what you want into
Yeah.
that batter and fry it up.
You can
could
do that
the
with
same
waffles.
I've had bacon waffles. I've had
Hell yeah.
blueberry waffles.
I had bacon waffles just yesterday.
Did you?
Yes.
It's
From that
good.
place in Astoria. It was called Dad's Waffles. Pepper bacon inside of that waffle. But they also had like caramel and pecans inside of the waffles. You can put stuff in waffles,
But you
man.
can put stuff in pancakes too. They're both doable.
Here's the thing though. I've had pancakes with stuff in them, okay? And they're good. I will give you that.
Chocolate
But
chip pancakes?
Look at Ash is so close-minded. He didn't even realize that there is a possibility of stuffing the waffle full of stuff. He was just like, obviously, you can't do that because he's closed-minded. He's closed-minded to the possibilities of waffles.
I am. I'll admit to it.
Oh!
Whoa,
Yes.
whoa.
A win for Team Waffle.
No,
Yes,
I'm
Team Waffle.
open-minded towards there being stuff put into waffles, but you can do the same thing with pancakes, and it's just better. Like
It is. And it just makes more sense.
Chocolate chip pancake, chocolate chip waffle.
Yeah.
The pancake is going to be so much better than the waffle. It's just
Why?
obvious.
Why?
Because
My
it
thing-
tastes better.
My thing,
you're
yes,
crazy.
but-
Pancakes taste better.
yes, to what's Bryce saying, but also like if I had a cooked piece of bacon, I was like, what should I put this into? A flat pancake or a waffle iron that's going to make it all freaking like zipper looking.
Zippity zap zoopities.
Yeah. I would obviously go with the flat thing because it's already flat.
Man, I love
But
this.
You
But
just made
bacon-
bacon pancakes after Adventure Time.
This is the,
Yeah.
the stupidest fight we've
You
ever
know what?
gotten in.
This will not be solved here. This will be solved in the comments.
Yes.
Everybody, get to us. Hashtag Team Waffle. Hashtag Team Pancake.
There's
you
n-
all know the right choice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's
Take
no,
to the Twitters.
there's no wrong answer. Just know if you choose waffle, you're a monster.
And
See, Ash is already making this like completely biased.
and I had a place for all of you in my will, but if you go Team Pancake, you're cut out of the will. No money for me.
I love breakfast, and I think pancakes are my favorite breakfast. So, join me in loving breakfast.
That's right.
Oh, I love breakfast. I love it a lot.
He's implying that we don't love breakfast. What a
I
jerk.
prefer eggs. Though. I prefer eggs and bacon to pancakes.
Okay, now that's just crazy. Okay, can we all agree that eggs and bacon do not stand a chance against
No,
waffles or pancakes?
I
You're
had
insane,
the most
Jasmine.
amazing Benedict the other day.
You're a
That
monster.
Was amazing.
No, it's got to be sweet. Sweet,
Nope.
over savory, but bacon every time.
You're a monster.
Moving
You're a monster.
on.
Let's talk about something game related and not food related because we obviously can't talk about food stuff.
No, I was gonna say me and Rick could rant for another 20 minutes
No,
based
I'm
on the
saying
proper
I
way to
don't
cook a
want
meatball.
to hear it.
Yeah,
I don't want to hear it.
Meatballs, fried or baked? I say fried.
Baked. You're a monster.
No, I will say this.
Team in my
Ash's
tummy.
meatballs are really delicious.
Oh, we're gonna
Yeah.
put this
Whoa.
to rest.
We're obviously gonna have to have a whole podcast dedicated to like eating
Food wars.
waffles and pancakes, eating
Oh my God, you guys.
different kinds of
You
meatballs.
guys, now that we have the camera, we should do videos of us trying out our different.
Are we gonna record
wars.
ourselves with the camera? Is that what we're gonna?
Oh,
do?
I don't know. Who knows? We're gonna record food with it. That's
Okay.
what I'm saying.
certainly.
Yeah.
We're gonna do hand reveals. It's
Hand
just
reveals.
it's gonna be hands.
Yeah.
All hands.
You're going to be like David Duchovny. in
Maybe
Cat Bottle.
you'll get lucky and I'll give you a close up of my teeth. I'm chewing that.
Oh, that'd be
Nom,
gross.
nom, nom.
So gross. Get like the greasiest thing ever. It's like,
Oh, come
Tooth
on.
cam.
No, yeah, I
Come
totally.
on.
On this podcast, I totally want us to do breakfast tacos.
Yeah.
I totally want us to do pancakes, waffles.
Pancakes,
and I
waffles.
totally want us to do meatballs.
Oh my God, that's gonna be a good day.
Okay, here's what we do. We're gonna for pancakes waffles, Jazz and I will break up into a team. You guys, unprecedented. We are starting new teams here.
No, what? Not. Whoa, hold on.
Okay,
You're gonna break up Stumped Industries
Yes.
for fucking waffles?
this is more important. We have important business.
Yep.
Wow.
And we will
Wow.
make our best. We will make the best.
Oh
Yeah.
dear.
But here's the thing: we need a neutral party.
That's true.
We
We
need somebody
do.
who isn't necessarily partial to either, and they will be the judge.
I have a hard time believing there's such a person. That there's-
It's gonna be tough. We might have to find a couple. We might have to find a couple of people.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
panelists.
This will be done.
Oh man.
I will be done.
All right, so Price, you have a gaming topic?
So what I wanted, because we were talking about this a little bit earlier, and it's been fucking blowing up the internet for the past couple of days.
Oh.
This H1Z1 pay to win shit.
Mm-mm.
So, what happened essentially, from what I understand, I've watched a couple of videos on it, and you guys, we were talking about it earlier today. Sounds like in this H1Z1 zombie type, Daisy style game,
Yeah.
they added some pay to win components. I guess like
An
people are
airdrop
complaining.
aspect. to
Like
it.
originally when they said they were making the game,
Yeah.
they said we're not going to do that. We're not going to do pay to win. It'll just be like cosmetic or whatever, right?
Is that what they originally said?
That's
Is that-
what-
Allegedly, people
Okay.
claim like that's how they're getting their money back now. Saying like
Okay.
this is what you claimed, and so but what they added were these airdrops that when they drop, they like apparently they always have a gun in them. They always have
They
like
always have
good
some
stuff.
N tier type stuff,
Yeah.
from what I understand.
And so the problem is that like people can just jump ahead to that point, and that's that whole the problem that people have with
Sure.
these free to play models or these pay to play models
Yeah.
is that what you end up with is like people who have a lot of money that they just are willing to throw at it. They'll throw $5 at a time to get a gun every time they respawn, and then for people
Sure.
who don't have the money, don't have the capacity to, don't have a credit card, you're in a country where you can't make the transactions, whatever, then you're at a major disadvantage because everybody else has got these guns.
I feel like I watched a really funny Robaz video where he basically played that
Yeah.
tank game. Is
Uh-huh.
that the game I'm thinking of? It was like a free to play, but you could pay to win. And
Oh,
he
right.
just kept buying
You
like
just kept
the
buying
biggest
the craziest
tanks.
shit ever.
I think he spent like $300 in one
Yeah.
game.
Wow.
It's Rob
But-
Well,
So-
I mean, he's got the money.
I'm okay with games that are free to play that have some sort of aspect of that, as long as what you can pay for is like maybe mid to high tier, but the end tier stuff has to be exclusively for you have to earn it yourself.
I think that it just like the thing that is worrisome is the allowing people to have a distinct advantage. So this is a game where when you
Sure.
die, you lose your shit, right? You start over,
Oh, right.
right? I'm pretty sure that that's the
it's
case.
like a Daisy type.
It's like
game.
Daisy, right?
Yeah.
And so if you're everyday average Joe and it takes you forever to get a gun, to get stuff going, blah blah blah,
Mhm.
and you come up against guys with lots of crazy guns, it's gonna happen. You're gonna die.
Yeah.
The thing is, it's gonna take you an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours just to get up to like a regular level. Whereas somebody who's just going to pay $5 every time they, come back, they're just fucking kitted out to the nines and they just go on a killing spree.
Honestly, that is a waste of money if it's permadeath and you spend like.
It is.
But people will pay it.
People will pay. And here's the so I've seen a couple of videos of people showing off this airdrop thing. And it's hilarious because what happens, I watched, everyone go check out a Force.
Force Strategy Gaming.
Force Strategy Gaming. Force Plays SC2, I think is what it is. Anyway, he showed this video of him paying $5 to get the airdrop. It costs $5, by the way. Airdrop comes down. You can see it throughout the whole server.
Yeah, I heard that.
Whole
Yeah.
server can see it. So the whole server rushes to it because they're not trying to steal your air crate because I don't think they can. They're waiting for you to get your stuff so they can kill you
and take your stuff.
Anyway, whole server's rushing to it. He gets to his air crate. Literally, the server crashes. He can't get his air crate. He doesn't get $5 back or anything.
Oh my god.
It's over. But it's hilarious seeing the entire server rush.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny.
And so like that's what I'd heard is that like that was I think intended as some sort of balancing mechanic
act. Yeah.
in that all right, you can buy this airdrop but you might not get it, which to me also is bullshit.
Right.
If I'm paying you $5 for something, I get it. Period. If there's some kind of bullshit mechanic of, who knows, then here's what you're going to get. You're going to get these roving bands of people who they set up fucking watch posts at certain... You've seen these games. People do this shit.
Yeah.
We're like, here's our gang. All right, there's going to be 3 of us here. There's going to be 3 of us over there. There's going to be 3 of us over there. We can get this much ground within 5 minutes, so anytime any crate goes down, it's fucking ours. And it's like, great. You've now turned this fucking Wild West style game into like a fucking... boomtown banking bullshit where you have this one person who runs it. It's like Eve with the corporations that run everything, and I just want to mine. Sorry, that got heated.
Here's the thing, though, with the H1Z1, okay? I heard people saying, like, this is brilliant marketing on their part. Like, yes, it's people want refunds and whatever, but I didn't know what H1Z1 was before 2 days ago. And talking to you guys, like, you guys really didn't know much about it either. And I think that we make a business out of playing video games, and for us to not even really know, this wasn't on our radar.
Sure.
So even for all the bad press, it's like there's no such thing as bad press for them.
Sure.
So many people are checking out this game just out of curiosity, This is brilliant. This is a brilliant marketing move on their part.
Yeah.
But do we really need another DayZ clone, It's like these games have been done to death by this point.
Here's what we need a good DayZ.
Yeah.
There's yet to be a DayZ game that's not buggy as shit.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they all, like, I will say that every one of them that I've seen just seems like, because DayZ was a mod, and it's like, people saw that the mod did really well and said, like, all right, let's aim for good enough. Like, let's aim for mod level quality, but we're going to put Sony money behind it.
Right.
It's like, maybe get some proper animations. Yeah. Maybe, get some things so that servers don't crash.
That game looks like it's like really old, like maybe PlayStation 2 graphics. That's what it looks like to me.
And
Just
like early PlayStation 2 graphics, too.
Yeah.
It looks so bad. And like the only reason why I was looking at it is because I see people playing it and talking about it on Twitter.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck is this? I think H1Z1. I'm thinking like bird flu immediately.
And that's what they were playing.
That's what they're going for,
Yeah.
But and I will say, I watched a Robaz video of where he played it. He put it up a couple days ago, and it was hilarious.
Well,
Because all
anything
he
he
did
does is
was
hilarious.
he got in cars and drove them around and ran people over.
Yeah.
And he called it Robaz Plays Roadkill Simulator or something like that. And it was literally him just running over everybody. And that's another thing where it's just like, it seems to me like it's the kind of game where having that like permadeath style mechanic, but enough room to get like so far into it, like it just seems to me like you could lose so much so quickly. It's like Eve, but on steroids. Like with Eve, there's certain ways that you can like kind of protect yourself from losing absolutely everything when you die. But it seems like this game and every game like this, it's just like, no, you lose everything. So it's almost like a roguelike, but it's like times a million.
Yeah.
Because it's like, it's hardcore mode. And
I guess
it frustrates.
I'm kind of confused as to how Sony got attached to this game.
Well,
like, how could a big studio like Sony be producing this game? Like, they could have produced anything, and they chose this fucking game to produce.
I mean,
I will say
why not DayZ standalone?
I
for
will
fuck's
say
sake?
it's Sony Online Entertainment, which I
Right.
feel like is a smaller branch of the Sony games
Yeah.
and all that kind of stuff division. And so, like, who knows how they get into this kind of stuff? It could have been
Did somebody know somebody?
I think it might have been a thing where like they're a publisher.
Yeah.
They saw this little game being made and said, "We'll publish it." You know, if these games do well enough, we'll put some money into it and we'll make it happen. But it's like, come on, man, quality. Go
Yep.
for quality, guys.
Exactly. 'Cause, I mean, these two games do super well. If you look at
Yeah.
Daisy,
You said
you look at
doo-doo.
Rust, you look at the freaking whatever the horrible one that was like so badly made that Steam had to pull.
Oh, what was
Oh.
that one? Yeah.
Um,
It was basically DayZ, but just really shitty.
Yeah,
Oh God, I can't remember.
exactly. But that one,
The Warzy? Was it that
War
one?
Z,
War
yeah.
Z.
Yeah.
and it still sold a bunch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And pretty much it was the same reason as H1Z1 is selling.
Yeah.
A bunch of people were like, "Oh, War Z sucks.
Yeah.
Don't buy this game." And then all the press that it got from this War Z sucks campaign
Mhm.
just upped its sales.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, it would just be better if nobody said anything about it. If
Mhm.
it didn't make the Reddit
Right.
front page, you know, just like pretend this didn't exist because that's where we were last week. This game didn't exist last week.
Mhm.
Now
Yeah.
everybody's fucking talking about it, and here we are talking about it.
There you go.
So this brings up a slightly different topic, but I think it's something worth talking about. Maybe we won't spend too long talking about it, but what is, like, say, Valve's responsibility in kind of policing the kind of stuff that they sell? Like, where do they need to draw the line of, like, this fits on our storefront and this doesn't? Because there are lots of those games. Like, so one of the big ones that happened recently, and this is fucking shocking. I think it's still up there as of right now. Is a game called Spartans vs. Zombies.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I saw that one.
So it probably popped up in your, new games thing at the front, quote unquote free game, I think,
Mhm.
to play, and it's an iOS port. Blatant copyright infringement right off the gate. The fucking image that they use, it says Spartans vs. Zombies. It is a picture that someone drew over of Leonidas, of Gerard Butler as Leonidas in
Oh,
Really?
fucking 300.
Okay, I
Like,
need to look
flat
this
out.
up.
Like, you look at it, you go like, oh, that's Gerard Butler.
right.
The character model in game, obviously Gerard Butler from 300 playing Leonidas. His name, Leonidas, historical figure, so you can get away with it.
Yeah.
All right? Fucking when you start every round, audio clip. This is Sparta
Oh my
from
gosh, it
300,
is.
ripped from the fucking movie.
Not only is it like that, but he also has a scar like
Yeah.
God of War.
But that's, he
What?
has that in the movie. Like, this is all fucking straight out of it. Yeah, Jazz just pulled it up on her phone, and now everybody's
Yeah,
looking at it.
this will be on the blog, but Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's fucking
iOS
insane.
iOS games always do that. They always rip off so many other games.
But here's the thing. It got through Greenlight. It's not just that it
What?
got on there. It was greenlit through their Steam Greenlight process, which
So-
it has made it fantastically great for some indie devs who are able to get traction. And some now are faced with this barrier where it used to be you could try and find a way to get published and get on there. But now through the Greenlight process, it's like, okay, you essentially have to fish for votes
Mhm.
so that you can get people to get your thing greenlit through
Here's
Steam.
the thing, though. Is this the exception or the rule? I think that when this is the exception, you're like, okay, these things happen. Some things slide through. But by and large, is the system working? And I think when the system isn't working anymore, when things like this become the norm,
Uh-huh.
then you can say, and of course you want to try to rectify it before that becomes the issue,
Yeah.
right? You
Yeah.
don't want to wait too long. But I don't feel like we're getting inundated with this kind of garbage.
But there's more and more popping up on the Steam page. Like
So they've started Steam this year anyway has started allowing more things to get greenlit than
Yeah.
they ever did before. So we're seeing more greenlit games. But I think to answer your question anyway, I think Valve's stance is that it doesn't have a stance unless the game causes controversy.
Hmm.
Like
which is a bullshit approach. Like for this thing, for example. Like,
yeah,
I think personally that they're selling this.
Mhm.
All right, so they are selling material that has copyright infringement on it. Okay,
Yeah.
so they are party to, like, essentially piracy, right?
sure.
Or whatever you want to call it. But the thing is like they could be sued
Oh yeah.
by whoever it is that owns 300, whoever made those movies, Lionsgate or
Mhm.
whatever, right?
Yeah.
They could be sued for that and taken to court and have to pay a huge amount of money, blah blah blah, because they allow this to sit on their storefront.
Could they though?
That-
Like
so-
I don't
well,
know. I don't know what the fine print is.
If
when
I was
you-
selling pirated games, say, like if I was selling bootleg copies of things,
well, sure.
me as the salesman, I could be.
But I don't
Didn't
know-
you say it was free to play?
Well, that's the thing. I'm not sure how that one works, but the thing is, it's on the storefront, so it's got to have some kind of monetary model. Right?
I guess my
Yeah.
question is, what's the liability that
that Valve faces?
well, that a publisher faces? Like, if you're the dev and you post that stuff through Steam,
Mhm.
I mean, what kind of liability waiver
and
do you
the-
sign with Valve, basically
Sure.
saying like, we are not going to take liability for any kind of copyright infringement. That's on you.
The
Like-
interesting thing too is that since it's getting greenlit, it's not on Valve to review it. It's the community
Yeah.
saying we want this game, and once it hits a certain point, Valve just automatically puts it on there.
Right.
Which, in its own right, is like an issue because you could make 1,000 free Steam accounts
I mean,
and get each
sure,
one of those to vote. So you can have fucking
a porn game could pop on
Yeah.
there if they really wanted.
But here's
it
the
to.
thing: if you make 1,000 fake Steam accounts and then you get it greenlit, those 1,000 fake Steam accounts aren't going to buy the game. It's still going to be an
Sure.
obscure game that slips through the cracks, and unless you really have marketing behind it, then it's just going to be an obscure game that nobody buys. Sure, you made it past that step, but then where's your fan base?
Yeah.
You've got nobody who's going to buy this thing, and
Yeah,
then it's
there's
just
a lot
going
of
to
games
slip
like
into
that, yep.
obscurity.
I guess my thing is I think that it's the kind of thing that sounds to me like what we're gonna get through this process now is more shit stuff that's able to sneak through, rather than games that are of a nice quality that got voted in by people who were watching
mean-
it. Like that was the plan of Greenlight beforehand, was to try and make it easier for indie devs to get their games on here. Now, if literally anything can be posted on there like a game, then you get so inundated that it's like going to any of those like free Flash games websites where it's like 95% of what you got was made in Game Maker in 30 minutes, was, a quick little Flash project for something, was a cash grab iOS port, all this kind of stuff. And it's like, we don't need more of that. We need something there to for quality.
I mean, I think Valve has always been around wanting to have the community sort of do it for them, regardless of what the project is. That's why they have Steam Workshop.
Sure.
That's why they have Greenlight. And I think it's a good model. Obviously, I think there is risks as well as having the fake accounts like automatically greenlight something. I'm not sure if Valve has some sort of rule to say we take the opinion of someone that owns 300 games more than the opinion of someone that only owns one or something. But I don't know. I feel like we aren't getting inundated yet.
Yeah. I guess the last piece that I would want to put on there is that they have pulled games in the past.
They have.
For content reasons, right? They'll say like, oh, this game is too violent. This game breaks certain rules, like this, that, and the other. So why don't they have something in there that's like a quality assurance component? Something that says like...
Probably because it's just too much work, honestly.
They haven't done that yet, but starting this year with the new terms of service for early access, they have the possibility now to pull early access games that don't get updated.
Okay.
Well,
okay.
Yeah.
Because
I would take that
that's a step
over. I
forward.
would put up with, a game like Zombies versus Spartans on my fucking store page.
Because they
Every
made
now and then, if they got rid of fucking devs that didn't update their shit.
They made a very interesting update for early access earlier this year, basically saying if you're going to have an early access game, you can't promise things.
Ah.
If you promise stuff, and
That's a contract.
yeah,
Okay.
and there's just been too much stuff that
That's
hasn't
true.
met its promises.
I mean, like that's like
This
this last year was like the year of early access, and we saw lots of success and we saw lots of shit.
And besides that, they also made it so that if you sell your game on Humble Bundle or freaking Green Man Gamer or whatever, it has to clearly say everywhere that this isn't a finished product. Because apparently people were able to get away with just saying, not putting early access on those other sites.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gosh, man. There are some things. And I think that like overall we all agree that like, yeah, the Greenlight process is a great idea to like try and help indie devs get their stuff out there, because we all love indie games. I fucking love indie games. There's so many games that got through on Greenlight that I'm so glad that they did, because I was finally able to play them.
Right.
And then there's, these other issues with the early access stuff that we
Sure.
saw as well. But overall, they're both good components. And I just think that I feel like there needs to be something there on Valve's end, because essentially what through the Greenlight process, they've said like they become the publisher, right? Like they take on a certain level of that responsibility. And if on their end, it really is just something like you said, Rick, of like a clause that says we take no responsibility, I think that's a bullshit cash grab approach from Valve. I think like they should take some ownership of the stuff that they are helping to make.
I think there's got to be like a buyer beware aspect to this though too. Like we all just looked at what that game looked like.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
Zombies versus Spartans. It looks ridiculous. It looks like an iOS port.
Yeah.
Like we would be able to instantly say like, oh, this is a garbage game, and just skip past it. This is not worth my time. And I think that most discerning people would be able to do the same.
Sure.
If you are it's like I've heard like Nigerian email scammers say like we prey on people that are stupid because it's like they've got it coming, like of course you can see through our shitty email,
Right. Right.
it's like you deserve it if you fall for it. I think that sort of applies to this scenario. You know, it's like if you are so dumb to look at this game and you honestly think it's affiliated 10 years after the fact with 300, then shame on you for buying this stupid game. And you know, if enough attention is brought to it, and if it gets the attention that H1Z1 gets, I'm sure that Steam or Valve would say, like, you know what? Yeah, we that has been brought to our attention now, and we got rid of it. Yeah. But as it stands right now, it is such a low priority that it's not that big a deal. Yeah. You know, if it becomes a big deal, we'll pull it.
I guess one last thing that I would say, and I'm gonna plug another person's YouTube channel here. Jim Sterling, fucking hilarious guy. He writes lots of reviews and everything like that for The Escapist. He does a bunch of series, but one of his series that he does on his YouTube channel is called Squirty Plays, which is just he takes like the shittiest games that he can find on Steam and plays them. And oh my god, is there a bastion of garbage?
Is that the one where there was that? Was it a rabbit that was like super patriotic?
Was
that Jim Sterling?
No, it was a you were an elephant, right? Because you were like the conservative thing.
Oh, it might have been an elephant. Yeah,
that was Jim Sterling.
Yeah.
There's another one he did recently, and I think I shared this guy with you guys. Maybe we can put it on the podcast. I forget what the game is called, but it was one where he did a whole like review of it, and it was like this shitty like Serious Sam style first person shooter, but like ammo didn't work properly, animations were terrible, all this stuff, and he's just making fun of it the whole time he's playing it. The devs of that game released a video where they were making like where they're like put all these like text and stuff in there saying, "Oh, like, well, you don't even know anything about the finished product, and you're obviously not paying attention. That obviously you'd have to do this and that and blah blah blah." So then he makes another video that's a commentary on that commentary of his video, and they just got into this huge like Twitter and YouTube and all this kind of stuff war. That dev that made that shitty game is releasing another game through Greenlight that is a pimp simulator.
That dev
is garbage.
Is garbage, and it's just so shocking to me that any dev could take that kind of response with their product. You know?
Sure. Someone's criticizing your product, and you're turning around and saying, "No, it can't be wrong." Right?
But again, though, you know what? This is still press that they didn't have before.
That's why I think like these devs literally are out for the cash grab.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that's bullshit. I think that there should be at least some level of like quality assurance of just like it would take 2 seconds.
Always going to do this though.
It would take one person at Valve to go 5 minutes into each of these games, 10, 15 minutes, just to make sure it works and does what it says it's going to be. I'm not saying that they get to like have this kind of like overall carte blanche rule of like, oh, this isn't good enough.
Here's my response to that.
Sure.
Valve, less than 200 employees.
Fair enough.
To do that with the I'm going to say close to 10,000 games they have on there, because last time I heard it was 6,000 sometime last year. So yeah, close to 10,000 games. Not possible to do what you're asking.
And I'm going to guess most of those 200 employees are probably people that do graphic design, accounts payable, human resources, shit like that. And, you know, they probably do have a certain amount of like actual software quality testing and stuff like that.
I think there's probably an insane amount of programmers just to keep Steam running as well and stuff like that. Engineers and stuff like that.
Yeah, so which is why they're kind of relying on the community to sort of weed this stuff out.
I guess my thing is like I just think that the cash grab model, it works right now.
Right.
So these people make money. And I think it's bullshit.
The cash grabs always work, though.
And so I just wish there was something getting in the way of it,
like
because
it
ruins it for everybody else.
It's like the studio that makes Sharknado.
It's the asylum of fucking video games.
Exactly. I mean, there's always been that aspect of it, though. You know, there's like, I mean, going all the way back to Atari. You know, you've got like a game that's gonna just play off of, you know, Pac-Man or something. You know?
Sure,
it's gonna be some clone or poorly made clone of another game.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So
all we can do is, just like The Simpsons said when the monsters invaded in the Treehouse of Horrors, just don't look. Just don't look.
Just be careful when buying stuff on Steam. Don't knee-jerk buy something because it's on sale. Look at it. Look at the reviews. I love the review system on Steam.
I love the community review system.
The community review system
You know,
is
I'm
great.
going to give our viewers a little bit of the doubt, because I imagine a lot of people actually do take the time to like, okay, let's actually look at reviews. Let's actually look at the game. Does it actually seem like it's something I want to play? You know, I think people are smart enough to make up their own decisions like that. And I'm pretty sure,
you need to read the reviews, people.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure, like, this Leonidas game, people buy, like, votes. They buy people to, like, you know, they actually spend money to like, because there is that thing where people on YouTube can actually buy a certain amount of views and subscribers. I think that's probably what they did.
You know
too,
who's
to get
buying
that
this
up
game?
there.
Like 50-year-old dads are buying this game. They're probably loving it too. They're probably like,
really young
feel like I'm
children.
playing 300.
it's young kids.
Or
is what I'm
really
imagining.
young children too.
Oh, yeah,
that don't know that
They're kind of on the same level when it comes to gaming, aren't they? Aren't your parents just big
Yeah.
dumb children? When it
It's
comes to
like
gaming?
kids that are like 5 or 6 that are like using their parents' like iPad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's stuff like that too. So
I just
Yeah.
really appreciate the medium of art that video games
You're
provide.
ruining the art.
And they're ruining it with garbage.
This is
So-
serious, you guys.
Anyway,
Yeah.
that was all I wanted to talk
No, I think that was good.
Yeah.
You know what?
So
Anybody got anything else to add about waffles or pancakes?
just because we touched on it briefly, one of the most interesting things that I find about Valve,
Mhm.
and it's been talked about a lot, but no one can actually prove it because they're a private company, and private companies don't have to release this data.
Yep.
But it's been speculated a lot that Valve per employee is the most profitable company ever.
Yeah.
I
Whoa!
believe that.
I've
heard
I
that.
kind
I've
of believe
heard that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Uh,
With that in mind, fucking how about Half-Life 3 already?
well, that's the
Yeah.
thing.
They're
that-
not a game developer
They're
anymore.
not a game developer anymore, and they keep their employee count so low.
Yeah.
And part of that has been speculated because Facebook was forced to go public
Oh, yeah.
before they wanted
Right.
to, because Facebook had so many employees that they gave stock options to. People are speculating that big companies like Valve that are so profitable are purposely keeping their company
Yeah.
size so low,
Yeah.
So that they don't have to go public.
Exactly.
So with that in
Um,
mind, there will never be quality assurance for any of these games.
Exactly.
And like all I'm saying is, I mean, from that, I think that's a great position to go from, because personally, I don't think they should have to go public. I think that
No.
they should continue to be able to maintain their.
They've obviously kept with our own interests,
Yeah.
very well.
Yeah. And by going public, then they would suddenly become beholden to stockholders.
They'd be
Exactly. They
selling
suddenly
out.
have to make a Half-Life every year.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so like, we don't
And I
want-
guarantee you that things would get bad.
Yeah.
Awfully quick.
Valve does better. Honestly, I love the Half-Life games. I love most of the games that Valve has made. But I think they're doing a lot more for gaming by being the #1 storefront.
Exactly.
They
By
really
being
are.
that way to access game. Like, I have never bought so many games in my life until fucking Valve came along
Yeah,
and made it
absolutely.
so damn
Well, I would
easy.
still love to see Half-Life 3, though, and I think that they should just
Oh, yeah.
go ahead and pass that baton and let somebody else
For
pick
sure.
it up, because everybody wants it, obviously.
They're probably waiting for another senior class at DigiPen to come up with some crazy new fucking technique, because that's like Portal 1 was a
Yeah.
DigiPen senior project.
Yeah.
Portal 2, the stuff with the paint, was a fucking senior project. It's like, it's all they do is like DigiPen's right there.
Yeah.
They're just waiting for that next thing to come
Come on,
through.
guys.
So, DigiPen students, get on it.
Get on
or
it.
those of y'all listening here who want to go into game design, go to DigiPen and Valve will scalp your shit
right.
if you make something that would be good for Half-Life 3.
Be the change you want to see.
It.
Dropping some Gandhi on you. All right, so let's go ahead and wrap up this crazy,
free
no
form.
topic and move on to our next part.
Stumpt's Adventure Corner.
All right. On this week's Stumpt's Adventure Corner, I don't really have anything planned because Rick and I were playing the forest nonstop for almost 5 hours last night.
Is this going to be a cannibal theme then?
No. So everything here I'm winging. So
You're winging?
yes.
Cool.
This week, the four of us
Uh-huh.
are on our way to a carnival.
Yay!
Yeah. So, Everyone's
That's a
super
circus.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone's super
It's a
stoked. We're walking through the circus. We can see sword eaters. We can see freaking flame blowers. We can see, I don't know, Rick passes a cart that he sees town drunk. So he takes this huge interest to that, wanders in. Town drunk
There's
says
a
he's...
town drunk?
Yeah.
Oh,
well,
okay.
in the circus anyway.
Oh, okay.
Circus town drunk.
Circus.
And
town.
he's challenging people to a drinking competition.
Ah.
This guy thinks he's the cock of the walk.
That's right. So Rick takes up the challenge
the drunk in the trunk.
and wants to see if he can beat him
The
drinking.
drink in the
Rick,
trunk.
roll to drink.
Hey, buddy, I'll put you to the test. 4.
Doesn't
God,
matter.
I suck
Rick,
at rolling.
Rick has a huge plus to his drinking anyway.
Yeah.
Rick
Got a +5
piles
kicking.
down the shots of whiskey. They're both going at it. Lines of whiskey are lined up, all the tumblers and whatnot. Rick's knocking him back as fast as he can.
A goop. A goop. A goop. A goop.
Other guy passes out before him.
Yeah.
Rick throws down his last tumbler, says, "I win!"
I win.
And then he passes out himself.
I'm down.
I'm not carrying him. Ash, you carry him.
I
Yeah, you're
carry
the
him.
big guy.
I throw him around my shoulder.
All right.
Yeah.
We keep walking around, and Price notices that he wants some cotton candy.
I was just gonna say that. I was literally gonna be like, "Can I stop and get some cotton candy?"
So Price starts eating a whole bunch of cotton candy. Price, roll for eating cotton candy.
Well, first I'd like to taste the cotton candy.
What
kind?
flavor cotton candy do you want from this vendor?
I want something kind of tutti fruity.
Yeah,
I like the blue one.
It's got like a
I got an 8.
8.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you wolf down your whole cotton candy too quickly.
Okay. Oh no.
Yeah.
Did you eat the
Get a
stick
little tummy
too?
ache.
You start throwing up.
What?
You throw up so much cotton candy that you pass out as well.
What?
So I throw you over my shoulder as well.
Damn it!
What's going on here?
Ash is poisoning us.
First.
I walk past one of those strongmen, like hit the bell things
Oh yeah.
with a hammer.
And he passes out.
I swing down, manage to hit the bell, and on the upswing, it rebounds, and I hit myself in the head with a hammer.
Did you pass out too?
I pass out.
Did you squish these two? You were carrying them.
I don't know, but we're all laying on the ground now.
Except for me.
Jasmine leaves us. She
Yep.
doesn't care. Jasmine's walking past.
I didn't even see you guys. You guys probably fell back further away from me. I
She's
just
Exactly.
Probably
walking-
still talking to us as if we're right behind her.
Probably.
She doesn't even notice.
Yeah.
So she's walking down the aisles of different vendor games to play,
Yep.
and she notices one of those throw a knife at an apple type of thing.
God.
Threw a knife at an apple.
Yeah,
Those are games.
like throw a dagger at a
Oh,
thing.
like at a balloon?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
But this one's an apple. Jasmine
Old-timey.
doesn't notice, but all three of us are tied up with gags in our mouth and apples on top of our head.
Oh. Wait.
Vendor is saying, "Hey, hit the apples on top of the dummy, and you will win this gigantic stuffed bear."
I want that bear.
Yeah,
Is it what kind of bear is it? It's a panda bear?
it's
Yellow
a
bear?
gigantic red bear.
A red bear.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. I want that bear.
Anyway,
How much does it cost?
It's Sir Huggington.
We gotta win.
Aw.
you got to win. It costs could cost a nickel for a play.
I could do that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Nickel and knife?
nickel and knife,
Oh my gosh.
nickel a dagger.
How
So-
big are these daggers?
They're they're about probably like 6 inches long. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Am
got
I
this.
awake during this?
Yeah, we're all awake at this point with gags in our mouth. So, Jasmine,
Yes.
roll for your first throw.
All right.
Roll for LASIK first.
That happens at the end. All
Jasmine,
right.
good throw.
I see the big one. I think I can hit the bigger target first.
You're going to throw it at the bigger target first?
Yeah.
Okay.
7.
7. You throw it just between my legs, pinning my pants to the back wall.
All right. I got this. Here's another
Number
nickel.
2. Who are you throwing it at this time?
I'm throwing it to the one on the right.
That's going to be Rick.
Oh no, it fell. What's it say?
9.
9.
You managed to throw it perfectly through one of the stud holes in his ear.
Oh shit. Let's keep doing this. Ready?
I'm a small target.
All right.
Small target.
Let's go for the left. 14.
14! She managed just to hit the apple, but barely. It gives a little bit of a haircut to you.
Oh.
At that point, the gag comes loose. Price starts screaming.
Jasmine! It's us! Don't throw any more daggers! You're throwing them at us!
18.
Jasmine throws it at the feet of the cart vendor. He's like, all right. My bad. I was just trying to have a little joke with y'all. Here's the red bear. Put down to the daggers.
16.
All right. Have a second, red bear.
I think this guy needs new pants. I think we all need new
I
pants.
need a new haircut.
7. All right. You actually managed to hit this guy's foot this time. He's in serious pain. He gives you the rest of the money from his cart. Just asks us to all get the hell out.
I think that we should cut our losses.
Yeah.
I think you should give me more.
Oh my God.
Jasmine, we're now getting
4.
At this point, other carnies see what's happening and they're racing towards
Oh, there's a
us.
carny code.
Yeah.
You don't want to break the carny code.
Should I?
Jasmine, let's go.
Jasmine,
Let's go.
Okay, you guys grab everything.
I'm still tied up. Untie me, please.
You untie
throw
Rick.
daggers at him to
I'm still tied up too. I didn't get brought down.
Okay, let's untie you guys. I'm rolled to untie you guys.
All right.
19.
Jasmine
Oh, thank
unties
God.
us all
Oh, thank God.
miraculously.
Come on.
Grab everything. Grab everything. I'm gonna
Shove it
keep
in
throwing
sacks.
daggers.
Shove it in
Everything.
sacks. Let's go.
I'm gonna keep throwing daggers.
Jasmine's
11.
Jasmine's flinging daggers. as
are
race
running.
out of the carnival.
Oh boy.
Price, for some reason, has more cotton candy.
Well, because I want to compare recipes, and I feel like with my alchemical skills, I could come up with the perfect recipe for cotton candy that doesn't knock you out and wake you up stuck to a board where people are throwing daggers at you.
You talk a lot.
Rick has a bigger hole now in his ear.
Yes, I do.
And Ash needs new trousers. But all in all, we all came out a little bit better at the end.
We got 2 bears and a lot of money.
That's right.
Yeah.
Way to go, Jazz.
And
I did
so ends
it.
this week's Stumped Adventure Corner.
Roll for LASIK.
So LASIK.
7.
Boom.
Your eyes are still shit.
I roll a 19. Where was that?
Nope.
5.
You wasted all your goodwill on Night
Blue.
Throne.
What was it, Blue? Blue, tell me what it was. Don't lay down on
It's
it.
a 10.
It's a 10.
It's a
Damn it,
10.
Blue.
You're mediocre.
Blue, roll for me, please.
Well,
All right.
Jasmine, you managed to not kill us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good job.
I
Good
did
job.
it.
I think we actually made out all right that time.
Yep.
I mean, aside from all of us passing
What did
out.
Blue roll?
7.
Damn it, Blue.
Your cat can't even win. All right, so
Blue.
that's where we're going to wrap it up this time, everybody. Anything to add before we...
Thank
Put
you
a bow
for all
on
the
it?
reviews that we've been getting on
Yeah.
iTunes.
Yeah, seriously, keep it up, you guys. We've got a couple new reviews on iTunes, and we sure do appreciate it.
Yeah.
If you guys do have iTunes, then go subscribe to Stumptcast. Why not? If you guys don't have iTunes, then find it on SoundCloud. We post it every other Monday. And in the meantime, if you are opposed to that, keep watching it on YouTube, leaving us your awesome comments and
Questions.
Yeah,
questions. Yes. We will be posting a video soliciting questions from you guys, but let's talk about it right now. We've got our 1-year anniversary coming up next month, February 24th, and we will be doing a Q&A, and we want all your guys' Qs so that we can give you all of our A's.
Oh, I'm going to give you so many
So
A's.
many A's.
You're going to get such good
Oh,
A's.
the A's.
Best
Oh,
A's.
God, this is getting bad.
That got a little crazy.
Ask
Got a little
why
dark.
Price is so weird all the time.
Yeah.
Ask
It's the
what's...
sweet tea.
Yeah.
Ask
Ask us why pancakes are better.
Yeah,
No.
don't ask that.
Because
Just
I'll
assume
give
that
you the
waffles are the
answer.
best. Anything you guys want to know, leave it in the comments of this video. We'll make another video. Leave it in the comments there. Leave it in the comments everywhere. We'll scour YouTube and iTunes and every place, and we'll put together something awesome next month. But until then, we'll see y'all later.
Bye.
Bye.